Hitchens, best-selling writer, contrarian, and
a notorious agent provocateur. We turned him loose on the presidential candidates and their spouses, and then we ducked for cover. Have you felt any pangs of sympathy for her as she's slogged through the end of this campaign with everyone keeping score on her?
She's sorry enough for herself. She has enough tears for her own blood. She doesn't need mine. If I felt that she was doing it on behalf of anyone but herself, I might feel some pity for her. But since it's entirely all about her, and she never hesitates to remind us of that, often with a little moisture to go with, I don't feel my mammalian sweetness is required. He's like Mrs. Clinton in this respect, or these respects, combination of great good fortune in life, great privilege, great luck, and tremendous resentment about it. I think possibly that's the most unattractive form in which prejudice can be met in this country, is the rage of the entitled at how they didn't get it all right, handed to them on a skewer with a dollop of béarnaise sauce on it.
Now, were you ever excited by Barack Obama?
No.
Why not?
Partly because I've spent some time of my own in that Hyde Park, Chicago milieu, though I don't go to church. That spares me things like the Reverend, what's his name?
Reverend Wright.
Yeah. If you have a candidate who's as obviously suave and pretty coldly, well, let's say coolly, to be neutral, calculating, and politically intelligent as the senator, if he ties such a huge can to his tail, such a big, dirty, rattling can, he can't get rid of it. You think, oh, wait a minute. Which is it? Is he very crass or is he very suave? There are only two possible explanations for why he would continue to let this can trail behind him. One, he didn't realize this was going to be his year so much. He was really running for next time. He didn't make the dissociation that even Wright had predicted he would make, because he knew. Wright told the New York Times last year, when the press finds out about Barack and me, I'll have to go. If the Republican Party was what? A dog. It should be shot for doing this to us this year, for giving us such a lousy parade of candidates, such an awful load of has-beens and failures and poseurs to choose from. To someone who doesn't look old, because old is great. We all want to look old. I like getting old. But who looks elderly already. There's a glassy look. Doesn't always seem completely clear of what page he's on. And who's renowned in his own party for having ungovernable attributes to his temper. It's a very deplorable state of affairs, and none of these people should be president.
Did Hillary Clinton's character catch up to her in this race, do you think?
No, but I think her husband's really did. I mean, very impressive to me now is the number of people who wouldn't listen to me a few years ago, who now couldn't say enough about how cheap and nasty and cynical and brutish and vulgar and crass and coarse, crude, nasty, unscrupulous, mendacious.
And they think it all happened in the last 8 months.
Yes, and I try not to jeer or to rub it in to them. I've always thought that
you're so saintly.
There's nothing tragic about him. He just is what he is. He's a horrible primate.
Thank you, Christopher. Now, Rich, I'm not inclined to be as grim as the provocative Mr. Hitchens, but I got to say, a lot of things that the Democrats don't want you to know, people are nervous about Barack Obama. This primary has opened up a lot of his vulnerabilities, pointed out what's, he's lacking, including, most notably, his weaknesses among the white working class. And without them, Democrats can't pull it out in November.
Well, Michelle, Republicans have lots of reasons to be nervous as well. If you look at the issues and the polls, people favor the Democrats on almost every single issue. The Republican Party is getting outraised in terms of money across the board. They're getting wiped out in the House, wiped out in the Senate. There's one man standing between them and total disaster, and that's John McCain, and Republicans aren't necessarily even that enthused about him.
So what this comes down to is anybody who thinks that this is all over is kidding themselves.